हमारी काफ़ी बेटी हैं, हमारी काफ़ी लेडीज़ जो हैं उन्होंने बड़ा नाम बनाया है कनाडा में और कुछ ना कुछ ऐसी एक्टिविटीज़ कर रही हैं जिससे हमारी कम्युनिटी का नाम बड़ा रोशन हुआ है। आज हमारे साथ स्टूडियो में योलीन नायडू जो कि 2013 में कनाडा आए और बिजनेस एग्जीक्यूटिव हैं कैन डेवलपमेंट के साथ। इसके साथ साथ कम्युनिटी काम कर रही हैं, एक छोटी बच्ची की परवरिश कर रही हैं। सो काफ़ी चुनौती हैं लेडीज़ को कनाडा में उस चीज़ को देखते हुए हमने सोचा क्यों ना आज योलीन नायडू को आपके साथ रूबरू कराया जाए। Yoleen, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Yash. It's my pleasure to be here.
I'm so glad to see you that you're a great combo of beauty and brain.
Thank you. And you know, every woman has that.
Okay. So you are into community work. Before I go over your community work, what I find very many people in Canada, they do community work, but back of their mind, they have to grow they have objective to grow business. They have an objective to be politically strong or take political plunge. So when you talk about community work, what is your objective?
My objective, my pure objective, is to actually empower people. It is to empower people, it is to be a role model in the community so people could see what I'm doing and they would be a role model to empower other people. Because we all have different talents. All of us have different talents, we're all born with different talents. And I want to see that grow in the community. So by doing a lot of community work, it gets me to find out about each other and what they're looking for in the community, and then we can work together and help each other to grow stronger.
And you're talking, you are empowering people. How do you empower? You give them money, you give them talent. What you give them to empower?
So it's not money. We don't do money. What we do is empowering people is the most important thing to anybody and to any human being is words. The power of words, I feel, has a huge impact over someone's life. And a lot of times that I do use words of empowerment. One of the things that I do have is called Coffee of Encouragement, which I started. And I find we are so busy in our daily lives that we do not have time sometimes for the people closest to us. So like our husbands, wives, or our kids. And it's taking that 10 to 15 minutes, buying a cup of coffee, sitting down with them and just motivating them. When you motivate and talk positive to someone in that 10 to 15 minutes, you actually empower them to reach their dreams because they are surrounded with positiveness. And I think that's what I actually mostly do.
So where from you gather those 10 to 20 people?
10 to 20 people can be anywhere. It could be at work, could be at family. When you are in a store, you do meet people. When you are in a coffee store, you're standing up in a lineup, you do meet people. It's just taking that few minutes to greet somebody, to acknowledge them, and just to find out a little bit about them. And I think the empowerment actually starts off with everybody is empowered and born with a gift. But what happens in life sometimes, they might meet someone who might tell them something negative that might stop their growth or might give them a negative feedback that they feel that they cannot do it. Yet we're all empowered to do everything that we put our mind to. And I think it's very important to have a positive coach in your life. If you do not have a positive coach, I am encouraging the community to be positive towards each other, because the truth is, to reach a goal in life, you do need more people to help you to reach your goal. And that is why, to me, family life is the most important thing, because you have your mom, dad, your siblings. If you don't have them, you still have your neighbors, and especially being immigrants to Canada, but we can help each other. Yes, there might be circumstances where people might need food, might need, like if there's an organization, a crisis center, they might need like day-to-day needs. I do speak to people and say, there's a need. I'll take an example. I went to the pregnancy center, I heard there was a need. I got a few of my friends. I am active on social media, so I put it on social media as well and said, there's a crisis. Anybody who has the heart for the same cause, let's make baskets with gifts and go to the pregnancy center and give these gifts. Because sometimes if someone just gives you a gift out of nowhere, it enlivens your spirit. And it's all about your spirit.
Yeah, I do agree what you say, but you would agree with me, so many students have come to Canada.
Yes.
They are in hordes and hordes and they are misguided a lot. They get into malpractices, and I have seen while waiting on the airport, some are involved in break-ins, some are involved in fights, alcoholism, and most of them, they face deportation also. Could your coffee of encouragement can help them to be guided loud and meet their objectives?
That is true. There's some people, generally with most people, there's a reason why, I'm not going to say a crime, but something, a crime kind of is committed. I'm going to take an example of stealing. There is a reason behind it. Either it could be gang-related and they're forced to do it, or it could be something that they really need, like just if they have to steal food or steal something to sell. But I think education is really, really important, and that's something that we should promote in the community, and knowledge. So in states like that, a lot of people don't know that Canada has a place where you could go in and they could give you food, they could give you money if you need it, if you were in a state. But I think what happens with Canada is we are all immigrants. We've all left our families from back home, so we don't have a family structure to tell us what you're doing is right or wrong, or if you hit a bad patch in your life, we don't have that full encouragement or that full support. So what happens with us immigrants, we tend to keep quiet, stay in our house, and what happens is when you stay at home, you could develop symptoms called go into mental health sicknesses, in the sense that you're so lonely, you have nobody to talk to, and then you tend to do things that you're not supposed to do, just because you're unaware or uneducated, in the sense that there is places to help you. So if you have a relationship with your neighbors or your community around you, and everybody is aware of what's happening in the community, if they see that someone is in a crisis, they'll want to come in to help. So it's very, very important for everyone to communicate with each other.
I understand you see theoretically what you are talking in sense, but you as a community worker, what could be your initiative, or what suggestions you have to government, newly formed government, to take initiatives so this problem is addressed?
I think when you first come into the country, we should have a really good immigration system where we're able to blend the new people into the community. We should also have a system where we tell them, like, if you're ever in a certain crisis, these are the agencies you can contact, so you are in a safer environment, and this is what our country, Canada, offers as a whole. I think a lot of people that come here don't know what we do offer. They think, well, Canada's an awesome place to live, and it's the land of milk and honey, and you can work hard, fulfill your dreams. But we come in with that mindset. We come in with that mindset to grow, to work hard, and to prosper. But we forget that we could hit a block. That is why it's very important as immigrants, we should have either a booklet, or we should be put into an organization so we could grow. And I'll say an example. When I came into Canada, my mom is a very strong believer. So she said, before we buy a house, let's find a church. And I think for us it was the biggest growth, because you got to know different people, and if you ever came into a situation where you didn't know what to do, or where it was the best place to shop, like simple things, where to shop, where can I get help in buying a house, but because you're in a little community, everybody's there to help. So I think it's very important, if we want to stop a lot of things happening in our country, it's very important to actually get the new immigrants involved in the community.
I do agree. And you also a mother of teen girl.
I am.
She is going to university as well. So how are the challenges being faced by you, being a mother of a young kid?
I think the biggest thing, it's the best job in the world. It's the best job in the world to be a mom. It's the best job in the world to have a teenager, because they're going through different stages. And being a mom, being involved in businesses, being involved in the community, and the experience that we get in our life, we're able to actually be the role model and to teach our kids, because they're obviously going through different stages in their life, But just being there or just being available for your kid to teach them of different things that they will encounter in life is very important. Communication is very important. And if the grandmas are around and the grandpas, involve him in your kid's life. I found that the biggest I won't say challenge, but the biggest thing that helped me in my life to have my parents involved in my daughter's life, because there's times as a parent you'll be working. There's a time as a parent you're not always available, but grandmas and grandpas have time to sit with the grandkids and give them very good advice. So it's very important to also get your kid involved with the family. It's very important to become part of your kid's life, to see what they like, because sometimes they don't tend to like things that you do like, which is okay. But then get involved in their life, get to see what they love, get to see what type of friends they join, get to see where they want to go in life, and just be there to be a role model and a guideline. And I think that the biggest thing at the end of the day is to be a good role model, because even if kids tend to want to try different things, which is normal, we all humans, we all want to try different things, but at the end of the day, if they look up and they say, you know what, I'm proud of my mama, I'm proud of my dad, they tend to come back for that advice. So always be a good role model.
So you mean to say grandparents are boon?
Sorry?
You say grandparents are boon, they are
very important.
Okay, but what I find while meeting with so many our people from community, most of the families, they want to utilize them for babysitting. However, at the same time, they are ill-treated by their own daughters or their sons, and they don't open up to them. Have you thought at any point of time to have a project or something where you get involved with seniors and provide them pleasure or an outlet for their feelings?
Yes, I do. I think the biggest thing that I've been brought up with is being with the older people. I love being with the older people. It doesn't matter if they're family or not family. I find with the older people, whatever they speak, they have years of wisdom that we haven't experienced. And one of the biggest things that I learned from my dad, because my dad always took care of the older people in the community, even if it wasn't his mom or his mom-in-law, which my grandparents, he always made sure the older people were taken good care of, because he always said at the end of the day, it's not just hard work, and it's not just money, and it's not just things that you do that makes you prosper in life, it's blessings. And it says when you get a blessing of an old person, that blessing takes you throughout life. And I grew up in that family environment about blessings. So to me, blessings are very important. And I think a lot of knowledge to I would say to the younger generation out there is take the blessings of old people. Listen to them. It's not that they are disagreeing with you. It's just that they have different experiences. But I also would say is what's actually missing in the community because of that's causing these situations is communication. So we need to learn to communicate with each other with love. Even, my mom and I, as we're growing up, my mom and I, we do things differently. But the one thing that was always there was love. So you need to remember as a younger person, and I'm saying this because I'm the younger person in the family, and we need to learn to respect the elders. We definitely do need to respect, and it's something that's brought up in our culture as well as our Indian cultures, to respect the elders, to respect God, it's very, very important. And I do also say is in the community, we need not to keep quiet. So I find and I have come across situations where the older people have been taken advantage of, they need to talk. They should not keep quiet about it because it's abuse in a silent way. We talk about abuse between husband and wife. We talk about abuse between kids and parents. There is old age abuse out there. A lot of times we notice that, and a lot of people keep quiet about it. So we need to not be afraid. We need to stand up for someone, even if they're not our parent or anyone to us, but we need to say, what, wrong is wrong, let's go see how we can help. And I think also and I would give this advice to the grandparents and the older people is, even though you get older, still have your community. It gives you strength, because when you join like a whole group of people, it gives you strength. And yes, a lot of people may use parents as nannies, but you know, we need to change our way of thinking. Grandparents are there to help their grandkids, but they're also there to enjoy their grandkids. And I know in the Bible it says that there's gray hairs, so the gray hairs show the wisdom on a person, but it also shows the glory of his grandchildren and his children. Yeah, and I think we need to know that they are not the nannies, and they're not the, you know, they're not babysitters, but they're there to be a part of the kid's life. There is a place for a parent in a child's life. There is a place for a grandparent in a child's life. And you know, at the end of the day, they do say a village grows up a child, and it does include grandparents.
I'm so glad you are talking very positively, and this should happen in our community. You just talked about Indian culture. Mm-hmm. Your roots are in India. You came to Africa. Now you're in Canada. You don't know Hindi. And do you know Indian culture as well?
I do know the Indian culture.
Mm-hmm.
I was born into a Telugu-speaking family. It was only when I was in grade 3 that my parents converted into Christianity. But saying that, the things that I learned in the Hindu culture, which was respect the elders, respect God, do good, help your community, is something that I carry throughout my whole life. But being a Christian as well, when I look at those values are in the Bible as well. So I think it's in all religions, and it's in all communities, about respect and about love to each other. So I think even though I say I have an Indian background, and I'm brought up in an Indian family, but I think the values that we are taught in an Indian family is a value that is throughout the world. It's throughout the world, and it's something that we need to embrace.
Okay, my last question to you is, interracial marriages are taking place here, and do you feel they play the right role or the wrong role for leading a happy married life?
I think marriage comes down to is you need to find your soulmate.
Okay.
You need to find your soulmate, and because we live in the 21st century, and Canada, we are surrounded with different nationalities. We actually grown up in a community where the different nationalities don't really make a difference, because we are all immigrants to the country. We are all immigrants to the country, and I think it's finding the right person that's really, really important. But I would say is, as you know, being married, the biggest thing is find someone with the same family values as yours, so you don't have any issues going down the line. So the value part is very important. Maybe it's not the color, it's not the religion, it's the values. Because at the end of the day, it's the values that actually make who you are. It's the values that give you the respect to respect the other person, your husband, your wife. So for an example, if you come from a family where the biggest thing is your parents, look for a partner who loves the thing about parents and you know, things like that. So I think it's also, I think the biggest thing is looking for the values. Values are really important.
Thank you so much for sharing so much wisdom, and I'm so glad you're such a positive lady.
Thank you.
Today, 800,000 viewers sitting pan Canada, they are watching you and listening you. Your message to them?
I would like to say is stay positive, don't give up in life. Whatever you want to achieve in life, you will achieve it. So go ahead and achieve it. But also remember that you do need to have your family and community behind you. Make time, spend with them, and build a happy family wherever you go, and be a good role model, because a lot of people are looking at you.
Thank you, Yoleen.
Thank you so much, Yash. It was a pleasure being here.